Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's start our video with a story of a driver's ed teacher who turns a Karen meltdown into a perfectly executed power play. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Clocked out, but not for Karen. A malicious compliance lesson. So this is a fun bit of malicious compliance that shows why I love my new job. After being on the receiving end of more accidents than I like, I switched careers to working as a driver's ed teacher. I'm fairly easygoing, but there's one aspect of any job that is a bottom line. My time is my time. If I'm off the clock for any reason, then I don't work. So if your class is scheduled for 5:45 and you show up at 5:30 when I start my break, I'm not going to do anything. Most parents understand that after the hell of kids that don't understand not stopping on train tracks, that you go counterclockwise through roundabouts. Seriously, he jumped the curb to turn the wrong direction through it, and one panic-inducing moment where a student nearly went the wrong way down a highway. Rural area, so no on-off ramps, just a road that crosses it. I need my breaks to de-stress. If they showed up early and I say I'm on break, they nod and wait. Most of the time. Very seldom we get people that feel they have a right to demand I start a class early. This is one of those. First, it should be noted, I don't have a uniform or badge, so aside from rooftopper on the training car, nothing says I work for the driving school. I had just settled down in my own car and was about to bite into my sub. Two of my past students work at Subway and will discount my meals when a woman knocks on my window. I open my door and step out, food still in hand. The following occurs. Cast, self-explanatory. Karen, are you Isa? We wanted to start his class early. Me, I'm sorry, I'm on lunch right now. His lesson starts in 30 minutes. Karen, well, we need to start earlier. He needs to be home early for dinner, so he can't be out that late. Me, I'm sorry, but when you scheduled the class, the schedule was fixed so that I could have the necessary break and lunch times. Karen, well then reschedule this class and have your stupid lunch later. Me, Miss, it's my lunch break. I'm not being paid for this time, and I need to be on the clock and scheduled to teach under state law. Not really, but sometimes saying it's a legal requirement slows the entitlement train. Karen, I don't care. Teach him now. Oh wow, that's a bright bulb over my head. Let's play with this. Me, okay, I can reschedule today's class. Just let me call the office and get that arranged for you. I grab my phone and dial the admin I deal with most of the time. Kat's great. She'll let me know when parents and students cancel. She clears my schedule when I need to take the car in for maintenance, and she doesn't like her teachers being bossed around by customers. After all, they need us more than we need them. Just to make it easier, I put the phone on speaker. Me, hey Kat, Joe's mom Karen's here and wants to reschedule his lesson today. Kat, when does she want to move it to? Karen, I want him to start right now. Me, so yeah, I was just thinking, just cancel the 4:30 to 6:30 class and give me another at 4:10. Karen, why the F is this taking so long? Kat, you're sure you want to do this, ma'am? Karen, yes, you idiot. Please stop shouting. My phone's on speaker. She can hear you perfectly fine. Kat, okay, I've canceled the original class and rescheduled it to start in 2 minutes. We'll note this in your records. Please remember there's a $50 fee for canceling within 24 hours. Have a good day. And she hung up. While I tried not to grin as Karen realized she'd just been charged double the cost of a lesson to have it start 20 minutes early. And if she doesn't pay, then we can withhold the certificate her son needs to take his driver's test. For his part, the kid's actually pretty good. One of those students where we're mainly just going through the motions of driver's ed to appease the almighty BMV DMV. And he's glad he gets to spend a couple hours every few days driving without having to listen to his mother nagging him. Honestly, the best part is how her entitlement cost her extra money. All because she couldn't wait a measly 20 minutes. Oh, and her son? Kudos to him for being chill and not taking after his mom. Hopefully he learns from this and grows up with a better attitude toward people just trying to do their jobs. You, on the other hand, deserve an extra discounted Subway sub for this one. Well played. And our second story. From too chatty to too quiet, an office tale of perfect compliance. I used to work as one of 3 assistants for the engineering/R&D department of a medical company. My desk was situated between the other 2 assistants, and we were all in the middle of a cube farm. It was problematic because everyone who had to go anywhere had to come by my desk. They would stop, say hello, and no matter how hard I tried, they'd start chatting. This, of course, impacted my work. After a certain point, my supervisor pulled me into an office and told me that I'm talking too much, that it's impacting my work, and to not talk so much with people. I asked her to give me a script for what to say to people, and she didn't have anything to offer. I was in counseling at the time, and I asked my counselor the same question. She said to use the phrase, "I won't talk to you right now," and return to my work. I'm a bit of a people pleaser, and that's too abrupt for me, so I stopped talking to everyone. After about a week, once again, my supervisor calls me into the office. She asked me what's wrong. I told her nothing was wrong. She said people are complaining that I'm being antisocial. I said, you told me to stop talking to people, that I was talking too much, and it was impacting my work. So I did. She said, I didn't mean it like that. Once again, I asked her to clarify exactly what I should and should not say, how much conversation was too much, and what to say when the conversation went on too long. Again, she had no response. She said, just don't talk too long. I returned to work. One of our lab techs was one of the chattiest and one of the worst offenders. She came by my desk one day, we exchanged greetings, and she started chatting. I quietly told her that I had gotten in trouble for talking too much and I needed to get back to work. She respected that and walked away. I did that a few more times, and the point got made to the office. It didn't make my supervisor look particularly good because everyone knew when I said I was in trouble what the source was. And when layoffs came sometime later, guess who was the first to go? Don't get me wrong, it was a blessing in disguise. The severance was amazing. They paid for job placement training, gave us 9 months notice, and once our termination date came, they paid us out in regular paychecks, not in a lump sum. During that time, for me, almost 3 months, I accrued vacation and sick time the whole time. They cashed it all out at the end. The week after my severance package ran out, I found a job at another division of the same company and continued for another 11 years. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. It amazes me how people like that boss get a management position without at least being able to provide guidelines for what they want in the office. And our last story. How we finally evicted the Karen next door. We've owned our house for over 3 years now, and while most things have been great, one particular neighbor, let's call her Mary, has been an absolute nightmare. At first, she seemed okay. We were neighborly, even brought her food from our cookouts. Then one day, she casually mentioned that she used to call animal control, the police, and even CPS on the previous tenants because they were loud and rowdy. That was the first red flag. Mary lives alone with her 2 dogs, doesn't work, and seems to have no hobbies outside of filing complaints. Since then, she's directed her obsession at us. She's called the fire department on us for having a barbecue and a fire pit. She's reported our pool to the health department, claiming it was a breeding ground for mosquitoes. Animal control has showed up several times because she reported we were abusing our dog, leaving him tied up without food or water all day. A blatant lie. She's even filed complaints with the county about overgrown weeds during the rainy months. One particularly infuriating incident was when she reported us to the county land and use department, claiming we were hoarding junk in our front and backyards. Every single one of these reports has been false. Luckily, nothing has come of them because the authorities have seen through her nonsense. The last straw came when we installed a shed against the back wall of our yard. This wall happens to face her house, where she conveniently has a camera pointed, not only into our backyard, but also directly at my daughter's bedroom window. That shed must have really gotten under her skin because the complaints ramped up after that. Then there's the property issue. Before we moved in, her ex-husband took 6 feet of our land to build a driveway. We had the land surveyed, and big surprise, Mary claimed our surveys were wrong and insisted on hiring her own. We're still waiting to see if she follows through. Meanwhile, we're considering sending her a cease and desist letter for harassment, though we're not sure how far that'll go. At this point, the local police and animal control are so familiar with her antics that they've stopped coming to the house altogether. They know what they're dealing with. Our lawyer and city officials are equally fed up, and we've been assured we're close to resolving everything. It's been a long, frustrating road, but we're determined to see this through. Update. Things finally came to a head last month, and I'm thrilled to report that we've had a resolution. After months of documenting every single one of Mary's false complaints, harassment, and violations, our lawyer helped us put together a rock-solid harassment case. Combined with the city's growing irritation with her antics, we had enough evidence to push for a civil injunction. The turning point came when Mary escalated further, filing a false CPS report against us. CPS visited our home, spoke with us, and immediately saw that the claim was baseless. But that was the final straw for the authorities. Our lawyer worked with the city to file a formal harassment complaint against Mary, and we also demanded compensation for the stress and damages her behavior had caused us. In court, the judge wasn't having any of her excuses. Her track record of complaints, dozens of them, all unfounded, was laid out in black and white. The judge ruled in our favor, issuing a restraining order against Mary, which barred her from contacting us, our family, or even stepping foot near our property. But it didn't stop there. The city decided to investigate Mary further and uncovered a laundry list of code violations on her own property. From her dilapidated fence to a hazardous shed in her backyard, the violations piled up. She was given a strict deadline to bring her property up to code or face eviction. To no one's surprise, Mary didn't comply. She ignored the city's orders, and when the deadline passed, the city followed through and evicted her. Last week, a moving truck pulled up, and we watched her pack up and leave. It was oddly satisfying seeing her go, though she glared daggers at us as she drove away. Since then, we've reinstalled our back shed and finally started landscaping the portion of our property that Mary's ex-husband had encroached on. We even planted a few trees to reclaim the space fully. It's been a wild ride, but we're finally at peace in our home. Mary's house is now up for sale, and we're hoping for a much better neighbors this time around. Sometimes the Karen's antics are just too much to handle. I'm glad that OP can finally live a peaceful life without having to watch this crazy woman every day. The saddest thing is that Karen will now switch to someone else and ruin their lives. That's Karen's nature. Nothing can be done. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.